So it is match week 29 in the Premier League. This midweek, we got some games that was happening midweek from Tuesday to Thursday, and we are just about halfway there, towards the business end of the season. And then we are literally in March right now, getting closer to the running in the last few stages of this season. So I'm going to get straight into it. The first game on Tuesday night, we got Bournemouth, and they face Brentford, 10th place versus 7th place. Brentford, though, they are still in 7th place, though, which is potentially a Europa Conference League spot. And look, Brentford, they're on 43 points right now. And look, in their recent game, I'm not even sure, because they were 3-0 up against Burnley. They threw it away and somehow snatched a last-minute winner, which was like crazy to see, to be honest. Bournemouth, though, on the other hand, I think Bournemouth, like I said, in the previous predictions video, that Bournemouth have had a very excellent turnaround in 2026, and now I believe I think it's 8 games unbeaten right now, because they've extended that run to 8 games unbeaten after drawing to Sunderland 1-1, and they are still in 10th place, though. Still only a few points behind that last European spot. And you know what? I think that unbeaten run for Bournemouth, that unbeaten streak will come to an end, because Brentford, though, they have a very good record against Bournemouth, though, to be fair. Brentford already cooked them, 4-1 back in, Christmas time, in December. And I think Brentford will probably take all 3 points in this game. I'm going to go for a score prediction of Bournemouth 1, Brentford 3. The next game then is between Everton facing Burnley, 8th place versus 19th place. Burnley, though, I think Burnley have played very well in their last, 3 games. They were unlucky losing to Brentford, though, which, I'll be honest, I don't even know why they had 2 goals disallowed. I mean, when they scored the equaliser or when they made it 4-3, because I am not even that sure. I mean, they scored 3 goals against Brentford, though, which is crazy. Though, and they are still on 19 points, though. They are still showing a bit of fight, though, if they want to stay up, though. But I don't think it will happen, coming towards the end of the season, to be honest. Everton, though, picked up a brilliant win away from home against Newcastle. Tiano Barry, Beto, Bramthwaite, I believe, getting on the score sheet as well. And Everton, they're only 8th place right now. Just 3 points off 7th place. Though, however, their home form right now has been pretty awful in the last recent months, though. But I think this is the game where they will turn it around. I'm going to go Everton 1, Burnley 0. Next up, we got Leeds United, and they face Sunderland. Leeds United, though, will be coming into this game on the back of a loss against Manchester City, though. They were playing, actually very well in that game. I think they played brilliant, though. They only missed a couple of chances, though, that they couldn't even take, though. And Daniel Farke got sent off towards the end, and he will be suspended, for this game, which he will not be on the touchline for Leeds in that game. Leeds, though, I think they've been doing really well in their last couple of games, though. They've only lost, only 3 losses, though, in their last, 18 to 21 games, or how many. But they are showing some good form, and as it stands right now, they are still 7 points clear of the relegation zone. Leeds will still have to do a lot more, though, in order to survive. Sunderland, though, on the other hand, I think they've done pretty much what they needed to do in the first half of the season. Obviously, Sunderland have been brilliant, though, this season. At one point, I was seeing them in the, top 6, though. Now they're down, in mid-table. And look, if they continue their poor run of form right now, because Sunderland are in their last 4 Premier League games without a win. They picked up a recent draw against Bournemouth, though. Granit Xhaka is back in the team for Sunderland, though. That could be an important, player for Sunderland, though. And look, if Sunderland, though, continue their poor run of form, then they could possibly slip further down the table. And they're pretty much safe, though. They're only 12 points clear of the relegation zone. So I think they're going to stay in the Premier League this season. But however, I do not see Sunderland getting anything in this game. I think Leeds at home at Ellen Road, there's something else at the minute. There is a hostile atmosphere now, and I think Leeds will be up for this game. I'm going to go for a score prediction of Leeds 2, Sunderland 1. Next up, we got Wolves taking on Liverpool. Now, Wolves. Look, I want to talk about Wolves because they somehow literally got their second win against Aston Villa, winning 2-0 literally the other day. And I can't lie, Wolves though, even if, they're pretty much done and dusted, they're already relegated to the Championship though. I mean, Wolves were pretty much with nothing to play for. They're just picking up results out of nowhere though. And those players though, they are showing a bit of fight though. And they've already beaten Derby's record now. And they're already on 13 points. So, can Wolves make a late escape though? I mean, there's only like 9 games left to go for Wolves, and I don't think they can actually do it though, to be honest though. I mean, look, Wolves in the Championship though. As long as Wolves can, sort whatever they're out, sort their whatever they need, they can get them back into the Premier League, They can get themselves back into the Premier League. Liverpool, on the other hand, Liverpool are showing some good form right now. They've beaten West Ham 5-2. That absolutely flattered them. And look, Liverpool will probably take all 3 points in this game as well. And Liverpool, they are in 5th place right now, which is a Champions League spot right now. Currently 3 points behind Manchester United right now. So I'm going to go for a score prediction of Wolves 0, Liverpool 3. We move on to Wednesday night. We've got Aston Villa taking on Chelsea. 4th place versus 6th place. This is a huge game in the race for Champions League though. I mean, look, both teams are fumbling it right now. Start off with Aston Villa because they recently just lost to bottom of the league Wolves 2-0. And look, that is a bad result for Aston Villa though. Let's be real here. And they're only 4th place right now. They're currently level on points with Manchester United right now. And they are officially out of the title race. So it's been done for like, I believe, during February. That's when Aston Villa's title charge came to an end. Chelsea though, on the other hand, they are currently in 6th place right now. And they're only, I think, 3 points behind Liverpool in 5th place, which top 5 is a Champions League spot as well. Chelsea literally recently lost to Arsenal last night, and they've also got another man sent off. Chelsea were down to 10 men yet again, and look, the red card is going to keep costing Chelsea in some important games though, getting players suspended left, right and centre. And this is a really hard one to call though. Aston Villa at Villa Park though, you did fancy them, to be fair though. And look, it is a hard one to call, but I might actually back Villa here. I'm going to go low scoring though. It's going to be tight though. I'm going to go Aston Villa 1, Chelsea 0. Chelsea have not won at Villa Park since 2021, almost 4 or 5 years ago. And look, I think Chelsea will probably struggle in this game. You saw Aston Villa, but I'm going to back the home team here. Next up, we got Brighton, and they take on Arsenal. 11th place versus 1st place. Arsenal, who are top of the table this time, the gap is still 5 points of Arsenal having played an extra game. They recently just beaten Chelsea 2-1 last night, picking up a huge 3 points for Arsenal in the Premier League title race though. I mean, it wasn't a convincing performance by Arsenal. Yes, they scored, by 2 set pieces though, but they done what they needed to do to get it over the line. And look, Brighton though, on the other hand, they've picked up back-to-back wins. They beat Brentford and they've beat Nottingham Forest 2-1, just as I predicted, in the last couple of videos that I posted. And Brighton, against the big teams though, they're actually, very good though. I mean, however, in this game, I can't see them getting anything against Arsenal, I'll be honest. though, to be fair. The Amex Stadium, under the lights, is going to be a very tough place to go for Arsenal away from home, but I think they'll have enough to get it over the line. I'm going to just edge it to them. I'm going to go Brighton 1, Arsenal 2. Up next, we got Fulham up against West Ham. 9th place versus 18th place. Fulham have been really good, though. They picked up 2 wins in their last 2 games, beaten Sunderland, and they've picked up a big 3 points against Tottenham at home. Iwobi and Harry Wilson getting on the score sheet in that game as well. Fulham are only 3 points off 7th place right now. Meanwhile, West Ham, though they have been, showing some good run of form, that they've been picking up some good results. They've lost their last recent game away to Liverpool, where they got hammered 5-2. And West Ham, they need to lock in, because they got tough fixtures coming up ahead, especially with this one this week, though, because they need to start getting some points, on the board in order to sustain, Premier League, survival this season. And I cannot see West Ham getting anything out of this game, because Craven Cottage, though, is a very hard place to go. And I'm going to go for a score prediction of Fulham 2, West Ham 1. Next game then is between Manchester City versus Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest right now, they're currently, still sitting 17th place. They have lost their last 2 games, home to Liverpool and away to Brighton. This is Vitor Pereira's, first 2 Premier League games in charge. They haven't gone very well, to be fair. And look, Forest are still yet in a relegation battle. They haven't won their last 5 Premier League games, though, and all they have left right now is still the Europa League. Though they're into the round of 16 in that competition, though. But the Premier League is what they need to focus on, because they could find up, ending themselves, in being relegated. So look, Forest have to focus on the Premier League, though, and the gap at the bottom is still 2 points. So they're only 2 points off the drop zone. But it's going to be another tricky game for them, because they have to go to the Etihad to take on Man City. Man City, who are literally so relentless, unstoppable right now. And I have to say, Mark Guehi and Antoine Semenyo, those 2 signings have made a huge difference in Manchester City's title charge this season. Antoine Semenyo, by the way, has been a fantastic signing for Man City, and he's also scored in their recent game where Manchester City have beaten Leeds 1-0. Very good performance for Man City. Should have been more, but Man City done what they needed to do. And they are still 5 points behind Arsenal, in the title race. Man City still have a game in hand, though, coming towards, the end of the season and in the run-in, though. And I reckon Manchester City will continue that good run of form and will take all 3 points in this game. I'm going to go for a score prediction of Manchester City 3, Nottingham Forest 1. The next game then is between Newcastle up against Manchester United, 13th place versus 3rd place. This is a massive game. That would be on a Wednesday night. Obviously, Newcastle, though, have been so awful in the Premier League right now. They've lost their last... I'm not even sure, though. I mean, all I've seen from Newcastle, they've only had 1 win in their last recent Premier League games, though, and yet they are still in all other competitions. They have to play Man City in the FA Cup, and they have to play Barcelona in the Champions League, though knockouts in the round of 16. And Newcastle, they're literally in mid-table, though, which will probably be like that when they finish in the end of the season, if they continue their horrendous run of form right now. And they're going to be up against a Manchester United team who are literally one of the most informed teams in the Premier League in 2026. We are now currently 7 games unbeaten in the Premier League under Michael Carrick, though. Can't lie, I am loving what I'm seeing, though. Manchester United did beat Crystal Palace, though, 2-1 in our last game, though. Bruno Fernandes getting on the score sheet. he pulled off a masterclass in that game and provided the assist for Benjamin Sesko for scoring the winner. Can't lie, Benjamin Sesko has been really brilliant for us, this season. Even though when we had Amram in charge, though, Benjamin Sesko is literally finding his form again. Scoring, goals week in, week out. We finally have the striker that we need. And look, Manchester United are currently in third place right now, trying to secure ourselves some Champions League football. And this is going to be a really tough game for Manchester United, because I have a feeling that we will lose this one due to the fact that we have not won away at St. James's Park in almost 6 years, since 2020. Though, and look, I feel like we might lose this game like 3-2, but look, hopefully I'm wrong, and look, in Michael Carrick we trust. And then the final game is on Thursday night. We see Tottenham Hotspur up against Crystal Palace. Most people say that this is a relegation 6-pointer, though. However, Crystal Palace, though, I think they are literally only 10 points clear of the relegation zone. I mean, that's pretty much nearly enough for them, to reach 40 points in order to survive, though. I mean, however, I don't think they'll actually finish even that higher up the table, though. I mean, they'll probably end up at mid-table towards the end of the season, though, due to the, how their recent run of form has been going right now. They've recently lost to Manchester United, though. Lacroix getting sent off, and he's going to be suspended for this game. Crystal Palace do have the Conference League left to play for as well, though, but I'm not sure they can go far in that competition, though. Tottenham, though, on the other hand, and look, if Tottenham, if they do not win this game, then they are in serious trouble and could face relegation. Though Igor Tudor, it has not gone to plan for the Tottenham Hotspur interim head coach. They've lost their last 2 games against Arsenal and Fulham, and Tottenham, they're still 4 points off the relegation zone. If West Ham and Forest start picking up some form, then Spurs could possibly drop down even further to 18th place. And look, Spurs, with those players, they have right now, they aren't showing like that much of I'm not sure, much fight in them. They don't have that in order to, they want to survive in this relegation battle. And that is a huge issue at Tottenham Hotspur right now. And look, it's going to be a hard one to call. But look, due to Spurs' poor home record though recently, I'm going to probably, back Crystal Palace in this game here. I'm going to go Tottenham 0, Crystal Palace 1. That wraps up my Premier League predictions for Matchweek 29. Then I'm going to show you guys how the Premier League table will be looking based on my predictions and my results. This is how the Premier League table is looking based on my results. Arsenal and Man City, the gap is still 5 points. Man City still have the game in hand, and Arsenal already played an extra game. Aston Villa are back into third place on 54 points. Liverpool currently level on points with Manchester United, though in 4th place. Manchester United dropped down to 5th place, though, but hopefully we can beat Newcastle away from home. Brentford, though, move up to 6th place on 46 points. Chelsea dropped down to 7th place. 2 points above Everton. Everton is still in 8th place. Fulham is in 9th place right now. Newcastle move up to 10th place. Bournemouth drop down to 11th place. Crystal Palace move up to 12th place. Brighton's in 13th place. Sunderland drop down to 14th place. Leeds, though, they're on 15th place. Though they're in 15th place. They're on 34 points. And the bottom 5 right now, bottom 6 still looks the same. However, the gap at the bottom is still the same, only 2 points, between Forest and West Ham. Yeah, that wraps up my Premier League predictions for this video. Don't forget to comment down below your score predictions, and let me know your thoughts on your predictions down below. And also, guys, I will be live, for this games in midweek, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I appreciate all the support. And we're also getting closer to 2,000 followers, so let's keep on going. Thank you guys.